Hellboy is a film about a red alien man with horns and his blue fish boy who go around trying to save the world, and they save cats from a subway, among many other. What? Oh, Hellblade. Hellblade initially seems like a game about a woman with mental problems running around on a beach, trying to find her dead husband while observing some quite nice scenery. As Senua is travelling to a place called Helheim, we can only assume things are going to get a lot worse than her just having a dead boyfriend to worry about. And they definitely do get worse. Senua is plagued by voices in her head which talk constantly and often negatively about what she should do, or even remark on the things she has just done, for example to mock her overall pathetic mission to save what we assume is her lover, or for being scared to jump down into what looks like an abandoned mine, which I don't really blame her for being cautious about. The story takes around 10 hours to complete, and without any side content other than some collectible stories told via quite a nice voiceover, this really is all the content you get. There's no go back and do all the missions again but they're harder, no collect all the pine cones hidden throughout the world. This is actually everything, and I have no problem with the game being 10 hours long. I actually find quite a lot of relief in a developer releasing a game and not having to include an open world, 400 optional side quests, and I don't know, they had a vision, they made their story, and their story ended. It's like a great film. It was really nice to sort of just go through the story, have it finish, and then not feel like I had to go back and complete a load of arbitrary crap that I didn't actually care about. Yes, I am looking at you, Breath of the Wild and God of War, overrated trash. The bulk of gameplay is split roughly 50-50 between combat and environmental puzzles, similar to the new Tomb Raider's recent reboots. Combat is simple mechanically, yet manages to always feel intense, reactive and satisfying. Reminds me a little of Dark Souls. I wonder if anyone has reviewed a game in the past 5 years without mentioning Dark Souls, by the way. And For Honor in its combat feel, with For Honor being the Ubisoft 3 stance combat, medieval, Japanese, yeah, that one. With every hit feeling somewhat realistic and every mistake leading to a suitable punishment. There's also a weird mechanic mentioned briefly at the start of the game, implying that after a certain number of deaths, Senua will be taken over completely by the darkness within her and your save game will be erased. It's never happened to me, and I can only imagine it causing immense frustration if it did. I will say it added a looming feeling of pressure, somewhat like how Senua felt in her general life, with her severe depression, psychosis and anxiety. So even if this constant threat of the game ending after a set number of deaths was a sort of placebo effect, it fit in very nicely with the theme of the game and made you feel somewhat like Senua. Something I'm a big fan of in any interactive entertainment or films. I like to feel somewhat like how the character feels in the story. This leads nicely onto what I consider to be this game's strongest point, the acting and writing. My favourite thing in film is when characters are relatable, act believably, and are written for a purpose. Not only is Senua's voice acting amazing, even with how little she speaks, but her motion-captured performance-based animations are too. This is a very serious and gritty representation of a mental illness and how it has affected someone. Therefore, the presentation and delivery of this character better be handled seriously and not pretentiously, and she really is. I've never seen better facial animations combined with such good acting talent, and it's this along with the writing of the character that made this such an immersive plot for me. It's interesting to note that it wasn't even a hired actress that played Senua, it was Ninja Theory's own internal video editor who was just filling in for the role, and eventually they were just like, go for it, we'll just use you then. I really recommend watching the Dev Diaries on Ninja Theory's channel actually on YouTube. They're really interesting and show how they started using as I just mentioned, the video editor for Senua and how it all came together. Lots of stuff on mocap, how they captured it in the studio and stuff. They're really great. All in all, I loved Hellblade. I found the new God of War to be very similar to this game, except this one had better combat, less fluffed up side content, a story and characters that were miles better, and much more interesting themes that felt more adult, dark, and way more interesting. If God of War is what everyone thinks it is and is a 10 in every single way, then this game is an 11. Sue me, internet, it's my opinion. Anyway, This was a super quick review, essentially to make sure I had the software to record my screen, my voice, and if I had any even basic editing skills left over from years ago. Seems to have gone okay, so consider my test video complete. I won't be uploading super often here, but when I go to play an interesting game next, I'll try to make something. Cheers.